So tell us a little about your company.
We're WannaHavaCookie. We've been in business since 2008, so we're 3 years old almost. Actually, we'll be 3 years old next month. And we are a small batch handmade bakery. We do everything made to order. We don't use any preservatives, and we do all natural products.
And what kind of products do you have? Just cookies, or?
Well, that's actually what it started out being, but now our biggest product is whoopie pies. We actually do about 90% of our business with whoopie pies alone, and ours are a little bit different. They're a little bit smaller than what you find normally in Pennsylvania Dutch country or even Maine. And we also do a buttercream filling instead of a marshmallow cream or a shortening base. So it's a little bit of my own twist on a whoopie pie.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot. Where the hell did the name whoopie pie come from?
Well, that's a big question mark. Nobody actually knows, me included. Historians keep saying that it either was an Amish development in Pennsylvania Dutch country where wives who had leftover cake batter would make up smaller cakes and put them in their farmers' husbands' lunch boxes. And when they opened them up, they would say, whoopee, it's a whoopie pie. So that's one camp. The other camp says that it was just something that kind of generated out of Maine, where they created the name whoopie pie to appeal to kids. So I don't know. It's up to you what you want to decide what's true.
Nothing to do with the other whoopie.
No. Actually, no, nothing to do with the other whoopie at all.
Now you have some very interesting packaging here. Could you explain that? I see some Chinese takeout, we got tins.
We actually started with the takeout boxes partly because we wanted to be a little bit different, but we wanted something cute and unique that people would kind of recognize right away. So we do a couple of different things with this box. We originally started it as a sampler, and it was one of each of 6 different kinds of cookies, and it was actually featured on the Rachel Ray Snack of the Day in October 2008. So that was the first big plus for this box. We found it in silver because we really liked the idea of doing something a little bit different. We didn't want it to look like Chinese takeout, we just wanted it to kind of remind people of food. And then we've actually switched it around a couple of times. We still do a couple different things with it, but only 3 whoopie pies fit in these boxes. So instead of calling it a 6-pack or a sampler, we call it a trio.
Nice. And then how many come in the tin?
The tin will fit a dozen whoopie pies, believe it or not, and you can see they get kind of full. So we try not to squish them down too much, but the idea here is that you can pick, online we have the tins available by the half dozen, so you can choose 2 different kinds, or you can also do a couple of different assortments online and then upgrade to a tin. Our normal packaging is actually these boxes right here. We have them in this size, and we also have them a little bit bigger as well, so that we can do assortments of up to, I think, 4 dozen fit in here, and the bigger box obviously. But all of our whoopie pies and cookies are about the same size. They're fairly small. We wanted to want to have a cookie, not want to have 1,000 cookies at once. So what we say is they're made to order, and they're sized to fit your diet, not destroy it. Yeah.
So is there any plans to expand to WannaWhoopie?
You know, that's a very good question. I don't know. I think we might actually have to think about that seriously, considering how much the whoopie pie has really come back, especially the past probably 2 or 3 years. And there was a big New York Times article about it in 2008, and we had already been doing whoopie pies at that point, but everybody was like, oh, you do whoopie pies, and then people actually started knowing what they were. I still get people, though, who don't know what they are, and they're like, oh, whoopie pie? What's a whoopie pie? And then I'll say, oh, it's a devil dog, but, you know, handmade. Oh, I know what a devil dog is, you know, that kind of thing. So it's always good to make sure that people know what you're talking about in a way that they understand.
Oh. So now you mentioned before that you don't use any preservatives. So about how long will the whoopie pies last, like once you get them?
Well, the good thing is they do freeze. Most of what we do freezes fairly well, and you have to thaw it obviously at room temperature. You don't want to put it in the microwave because we do have a buttercream filling on the inside. But at room temperature, most whoopie pies will last 7 to 10 days. So we can ship. We actually ship throughout the country. We hit all 50 states in 2009, including Alaska and Hawaii. And most of them are set up so that they're very transportable. The whole idea behind a whoopie pie is, you know, it's easy to take with you, and as opposed to a cupcake, which has to be delivered and you have to be very careful with it, this you can toss in your bag, toss in your fridge, forget about it for a couple of weeks in the fridge, and then all of a sudden you have a nice little treat in the back corner. So.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Frank. Hope you have a good time at the show.
I'm having a great time.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.